Hey, how y'all doing? How y'all doing, man? So we're in the middle of a hurricane right now, y'all boys. So things have been kind of choppy. So the thing I wanted to talk about is the global financial collapse basically happening right now, as well as the stock market crash that has just hit its zenith and got its attention right now. So Japan's got its most downtrodden collapse since the '87 crash, which was done by the deregulation of the saving and loans uh, economy and stuff like that. And we saw that in the movie Wolf of Wall Street when L.F. Rothschild uh, went under, and Leonardo's the character Jordan Belfort was out of a job. So you have that going on right now, and then amongst the global thing, including the U.S., there hasn't really been a true recovery since the '09 crisis. There's been band-aids put on it, and how can I say, tape put on some pipes, but if you don't repair the pipes or get new reinforced pipes, the water will eventually bust and then spill everywhere. And that's what's going on right now. They thought that they could just put some tape around it, and we'll put some tape around it, and then you pay off the worker who did it, but didn't even do the right job, and they could just, hey, shit, it's still going though. And now the leaks it's been leaking up, and then you got to call them back 10 years later, be like, hey, here goes some more tape. Hey, bro, we need, the real people are like, bro, you need to replace the pipes. Nah, we're gonna have to get the right workers, and that's gonna empower them, and nah. So that's what's going on right now. The world economy has had an economic downturn since the financial crisis of '09. There has been no real recovery since '09. It wasn't done under Bush. It wasn't done under Obama. Wasn't done under Trump. It wasn't done under Biden. All that was done was a continuation of giving money to the banksters who caused the collapse in the first place. Don't ever let them say it was the subprime, low level person not being able to pay his rent and shit. That was a lie from the get go. What caused the financial crisis then, what's causing another one now, what caused it to almost happen during the 2020 pandemic. That's one of the reasons why they had to have a pandemic in the first place. I'll get into that in a second. But is because of the derivatives bubble, which means in the Wall Street ecosphere, economic sphere, they have something called derivatives. It allows them to use, how can I say, financial language or instruments that don't have no real intrinsic value on the economy. You can't eat it, you can't use it, you can't produce it, but they can use it to make money off of. And they found a way to leverage that, speculate that, deregulate it, which was highly regulated by the FDR administration. That's one of the reasons why they hate FDR so much. That's why they call him a class traitor, because he didn't allow them to destroy the world economy and continue plunging people into a dark age, like what was happening during that time in '29, up until his administration, when he came in and changed the game, when the lame duck Herbert Hoover wasn't doing nothing about it. So it was highly regulated, but then over bipartisan administrations, this may shock people. Oh, what? But both sides were working together. Yes, they're two sides of the same coin. You keep running to the right or the left when we need to be junking both parties and creating one that works for the people all throughout. So you had that going on. So you have that. So what's a derivative? A derivative is basically a speculative tool that is used to make the people make those at the top make way huge lump sums of money, basically like a balloon. You blow it up, you keep blowing it, and eventually it pops because it's not regulated by anything. It's not backed by anything. There's nothing to hold it down. It's not tangible. There's no material intrinsic value, but it helps to have them loot the economy. It's a casino economy. There's nothing backing it. It's just fugazi. It's a fugazi. They kind of talk about it in The Wolf of Wall Street. They mention it a couple times. Leonardo DiCaprio's character mentioned it, and Matthew McConaughey's character mentioned it too. So, you okay? Hey, my dog. Hey, you okay? Okay, okay. Bless you. So, yeah. So that's what's going on right now. So that's what we have. We got those two things happening right now. So basically, this casino economy that's been deregulated over bipartisan administration since FDR, since really it got really started with the deregulation of the telecommunications industry in the 70s, but then got deregulated even more with the savings and loan industry under Reagan and again under Bush, and then enhanced by Bill Clinton's crew, who repealed Glass-Steagall and deregulated derivatives, which allowed the casino economy to morph, and then it got enhanced by Bush. So that's what you had. That's exactly what you had right now. That's what you have. You have that. And there's been no recovery. There has been zero recovery. There's been no economic recovery ever since that time period. You've had bailouts, which help the ones who destroyed the economy, but since their balance sheets are knee deep in all of this derivatives bubble speculative market, they don't have any real assets for real. They're not trying to create anything for real. They're not loaning anything out for real like that because they know they're insolvent. They're zombie banks. As one of my mentors and person who put me on game about it told me about. This is what it is. This is what's been happening. Here you go. Yes. So this is what's been happening. So that's what's been going on right now. So we've been having that for a while now. So you've had a whole casino economy played off of for about 50 years now, because the 70s was about 50 years now. So, and the deregulation of all of these industries helped to make all of this happen, because people make regulations from a bottom up thing. It's a lot of regulations happening for those trying to start a business, but for those at the top, they have very few or little regulations when it comes to them being able to do stuff, because they're the ruling class. They are they don't abide by law, as you see when it comes to celebrities, and they're not even the ruling class. They help to maintain the ruling class's power by distracting the public, but even and so they're given certain cachets, certain crescendos. So that's what we have right now. That's what we've been having, and so that's what's going on right now. So all of this deregulation, all of this speculation, and all of these bailouts that to insolvent people who weren't going to do anything about the economy, aren't going to do anything about the real economy, making sure people have jobs, raising the standard of living, raising the minimum wage, creating a whole new deal society, economic bill of rights, the whole panorama. They haven't done anything about it since '09. They then got another bailout. They got quantitative easing all through both administrations, Trump's and Obama's, and I'm pretty sure under Biden's. And then they got bailed out too with the pandemic thing that was given to the banksters too, because they were about to suffer another economic collapse if not for that bailout during the pandemic. And that goes to my next point when it comes to the pandemic. The pandemic was a really sophisticated way of smoke screening and getting the public focused on this bioweapon that they put out there, that they had the cure for, quote unquote, immediately, all in an effort to not only depopulate, not only tighten their grip on society more and more, not only to give liberty, give security for you taking up and giving away your so-called liberties, quote unquote. So That was what that was about. And also it was about uh, making sure that the revolutionary aspect that was happening, where how can I say, their candidate, the Obama candidate, didn't win. Trump not listening, going off script, China countering their moves, Russia countering their moves, and basically the ruling class feared a revolt in their world order. And so the pandemic was a way of countering that and smoke screening so they can get everything back in line. Which it did, it delayed, but now things are coming back full circle because the real issues haven't been resolved. It's like ever since the deregulation era and the deindustrialization of the US, you've seen a downturn of the standard of living. The standard of living has gone down by 2/3. And this was a reaction to all of what the New Deal state, the upsurge in union wages, and the public riling and going ham on the ruling class. So their reaction, their fight back was to strip, number one, the original revolutionaries, black people, of their economic rights, but also rank and file citizens, white people too. And they stupidly went along with it, thinking that it was just going to hurt us. It hurt them too. So, and of course, disinformation played a factor. Lies, manipulation, wars, deceit, bad administrations, greed, what I'm saying, union busting. This has helped to foment and absolve, and not misinformation and disinformation has helped, and the next generation not getting all of the information of the previous generation. That has helped to facilitate all of this too. And now we're in a point right now where we're dealing with economic collapse and inflation, and at the same time a shrinking job market, rising prices still being way too fucking high, and no economic surge. Right now, you should be talking about implementing universal income. That's what I would be doing if I was in the Biden administration. I would be talking about enhancing the social safety net, bringing back welfare, enhancing food stamps, making it easy for people to get cash money cards, the same way the immigrants get for all people. They're not doing that. You know what I'm saying? The only people getting papered up are the immigrants that are being sent here to replace black people and replace by proxy, the lone ranking white folks. And now it's having a huge backlash. It's backfiring, and it's not going the way they think it's going to go. But back to the economic collapse. This is why this is happening. They got all this money. They didn't use it for the economy. Instead, they used it to give each other huge bonuses, like what happened in 2009, and then what happened again in 2020, and absolve themselves from any criminal liability. Nobody's been really charged for all of this illegal, speculative nothing. There hasn't been an audit of all these of these banking balance sheets and what's going on here and there. No, it's been a bunch of funny style shit going on, and they've been able to just la la la, you know what I'm saying? Too big to fail. You know what I'm saying? Been able just to use their mass manipulation and psych warfare on the masses of the people and divide it up so that they can run free and not have to stand justice and trial. And that's what's been happening. That's what we've been seeing. And this is a result of this, because now once they got more money, did they say, oh, remember they said, we're sorry, we're never going to do it again. As soon as they got the money, they went back to doing it again. Then they got the money again, went back to doing the same thing again. They're never going to learn, because like what Dr. Umar was saying, as a psychologist, all behavior, if not corrected, it must occur again and again and again, and in more rapid time. And you see now these collapses are happening more frequently. We were just about to have one in 2020. They got bailed out. But now 4 years later, before it was 10, 11 years from 2009 to 2020. You see, now it's happening even quicker. And they just got bailed out again. And the Federal Reserve, which should be giving money to the everyday person and giving reparations to black people and giving universal income and economic bill of rights and the whole Great Society apparatus or whatever is giving money to these banksters. And the bank, and they know it. Everybody knows this shit. That's the big, that's the big secret. You know what I'm saying? If you call the Federal Reserve, they start explaining to you. I called there one time, and they got a mammy as the offensive lineman. When you call it, they be like, yeah, you gonna have to call such and such. They got her right prop, boy. Well, then when you get past her, you start calling it. Then they'll be like, oh yeah, we'll figure it out. Like, like, like it's insidious. They're like, we're getting away with it. I called them. I spoke to them on the phone. So, this is what you're dealing with, man. This is what we're doing, and this is the real reason why there's a global economic downturn right now. Why markets are plummeting. Why the world is at an economic crisis right now. Because there's been no real recovery. There hasn't been a New Deal policy where there's massive industrialization, massive job creation, high wage, high skilled jobs, immediate hires for people who want to work. Because if you ask people if they want to work, they will say yes, and they will do it gladly and handsomely. All that, nobody wants to work. That's a lie. That's bullshit. That's straight bullshit. If you pay them a decent wage, they'll do whatever it takes morally, job-wise, to get to get it done. And to do a great fucking job at it. What? You know what I'm saying? And social safety net, too. To make sure that people have an economic floor so they don't slide through, which is happening right now. Now, when we go to both candidates, what is their talking points when it comes to the world economic collapse? Kamala do the same thing, continue to replace the average day American citizen, lower, have illegals take union price jobs so that the ruling class can continue to get not have to pay a lot and continue to be greedy and then keep inflation high. That's her thing. What's Trump's thing? Cut the social safety net, which will harm a bunch of people, and then number one, use the oil reserves as a supplement, which actually is not a bad thing, to counteract the inflation thing. But he's not talking about price controls. He's not talking about making sure that prices are down, passing regulation on these major companies to make it so that y'all are forced to make things where the customer can pay for their daily living standards affordably, raising the minimum wage. He ain't talking that. Social safety net enhancements. He's talking about cutting them. He's talking about trying to abolish that. So each side is a bunch of bullshit. Now, if Trump gets rid of all the mass immigrants, will that by proxy help with job creation with the homegrown American citizens? Yes. But this is a crude way. There's a better way to do it. Yeah. Am I in favor of immigration? Hell no. Illegal immigration? No. I'm not. Because what it's done is it's create a surplus population of anti-black foreigners who have come in here and wreaked havoc on the black community and been nasty and rude and stank, and I've dealt with them face to face. No, so hell no. But what I am in favor of is doing things the right way. Seal at the border, get rid of those who didn't come here legally, and then do the right thing. And hey, if you want to come here the right way, and paper up the American citizens so that they can survive this economic downturn. That's what I'm in favor of. Have a full set economy, universal income, have reparations for black people, create a full set economy where there's low to high paying jobs all the way through, where it's convenient, factories, industry, everything, not just service industry jobs. Push that forward. Like, make it to where people are knocking on people's door, walking up to citizens saying, hey, here you go to this place and we'll get you hired. Go to this place and we'll have this job placement program for you. We have this job creation for you. We have this trade program for you automatically, and you'll get paid while you learn. Like, automatic shit. And in the meantime, here goes a social safety net for you so you can survive while you're in the process of getting hired or getting a career, or here goes money to start your business. Individual initiative. We have these open end century loans that we'll give you that don't have to be paid back for 100 years, because we're trying to boost the economic upsurge, and we believe in the American people's ideas because they have some great ideas. They just need the individual capital to push it forward, and we'll help mechanize it and recruit it so that you can facilitate who you need to pay, where you need to go to get said employment, to open up your store or get your distribution going or bring in your website. You know, it's just a whole new thing that could just be done. And and if it, and people may call that utopian because they haven't seen it in a long time, but it's happened before. It's just people have had their memories wiped, and it's been 100 years since FDR was actually alive. You know what I'm saying? And now I know to the black people, hey, FDR was racist and all that, but I'm not talking about his fucking racial view and that anti-lynching bill that he refused to sign because he had a solid South. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about economic policy that would benefit everybody right now, on top of reparations, of course, like, and a protection bill to stop black people from getting harmed and genocided against, and a truth moratorium so we can tell the truth and start having the public regain trust with its citizens, instead of lying about everything and bullshitting the people and trying to make it seem like everybody's fucking dumb and you're the smartest person in the room. That's how you change the global outlook of things. Will these two candidates have it? No. And the most immediate one, who's the most effective when it comes to dealing with a global economic crisis? Well, if you're deporting 11 million people plus immediately, Trump. Because Kamala's thing right now is what's been going on. It's going to be a continuation, which will cause a huge economic downturn. The crude way actually helps in the immediate, but we need what I'm saying long term so we can change the game. So that's just my take on the global economic crisis and what's been going on and why this is happening. What is the cause? Because you already know, every time if they can get the chance to always blame the low man on the totem pole, when it's really the top people who are the ones doing all of this. So I just wanted to let y'all know that. So y'all go ahead, y'all like, share, subscribe, and what I'll do, I guess I'll do another video talking about Kamala versus Trump and who I think will win, and what's going on in the Olympics with Noah Lyles getting the gold. Shout out to you, brother. Gabby about to get that 200. Shikari disappointing us, not getting the gold, getting upset. That silver shit, that's not good enough. We could have had a double Dutch moment for the first time, the men and the women's in the U.S. bringing it back home in this since the start of the 21st century. We haven't done it since 04, 2000 really. It's been 04 and 2000 since we've been showing our dominance, not since the Michael Johnson era and Maurice Green era, which is and Justin Gatlin when he was young, that era. You know what I'm saying? It's been a while. Hell, Usain wasn't even on the scene yet. That's how long ago it is. Usain been retired, and we ain't been on top in both heats in a while. We haven't even been on top in the men's 100 in almost 2 decades. In 2 decades, yeah. This year, if we hadn't done it, it would have been 2 decades. But thank God for Noah Lyles, boy. Shout out to you, brother. You know, put the gold medal right where it belongs, in the FBA's hands. It's been a minute, boy. It's been a long time. You know, we've been so dominant over so many decades, 90s, 80s, 70s, 60s, 50s, 40s, and in the 30s, of course, with the famous Jesse Owens, the Hitlerian master race moment where it was supposed to be the white supremacist gods at the top of Mount Olympus showing their might. Hitler was right. He was right. There was a God that was showing their greatness. You just had the wrong color, brother. It was the black FBA greatness that was shown on display. It was that black greatness, that melanin might. You know what I'm saying? You was right. The gods were shown, and it was us. We was the gods that showed what it was. You know what I'm saying? I got on my Mansa Musa right now. You know, richest person of all time. You know, their lives how to make Rockefeller or Rothschilds or Bill Gates. But then and now, richest man of all time is a black person, specifically black man. Just we're in this inversion era where it's seen as the black man ain't shit, but to be in jail or shot or to be a nigga cooking some fries or something. So I just want to have a black job, quote unquote. We understand Trump's immediate talking point when it came to that. Like, hey, shit, niggas need to get hired. We need to get hired immediately. I understand that for sure, but hell, we can do whatever we will it. You know what I mean? So that's just the, put it into perspective, basically. So, that's my take though on the global economic downturn and what's going on, how to get out of it, who started it, why is it happening now, and all of that. And what's one of the things that's going to counteract it? The Fed will try to cut rates, which will then give more speculative money to the banksters. Because right now, the banks have to pay back all that money at a higher rate, and they don't have any money, so they're in debt because they're trying to. It's like you having 4 apples, but they tell you now you got to give them 8 apples back. So they're trying to cut them in half, and they take your apples. Hey, I got 6 apples. Is that good enough? So that's also too, because no real economy is being set. It's just a casino economy. The Federal Reserve giving money to these insolvent banks who actually would be insolvent and should get that Chapter 7, Chapter 11 treatment right now, and let the regular rank and file people who create their own community credit unions and own community banks to help the people itself, instead of these big, huge conglomerate banks that really are fucking with the people, and make it a smooth transition. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's going on right now. But I'm gonna digress. I'm gonna leave it like that. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll talk to y'all soon. I'll watch for another video later on today or tomorrow. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see y'all later. Thank y'all for watching.